on to episode 4. No, 5.
4.
This is 5.
Oh, no, this is 4.
Is it? Oh, yeah, it's 4. It's 4.
Yeah,
You're right.
that's
You're right.
what I thought.
I'm already confused and not
Yes,
sorry.
yes. 4. I do the editing and I title all of these things, so I know we're on episode 4.
I think it's just because I was writing out this episode, and so I had formed in mind, like, oh, well, the next one's 5, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's also end of day Friday. Like, this is our latest episode we've done.
Yes, we are recording this at 11 p.m. right now, so it's going to be a little spookier vibes kind of thing. So,
and we don't have Connor home today.
Yeah, Connor is gone. He is with his grandparents.
Yeah.
So
this is a little bit of a different environment than we're used to.
Yes, yeah. And also our dog is, well, not ours, your dog is walking around, so you might hear tippy taps of her feet. So
some tippy taps. I think she'll be okay. The blankets will mute her.
I think she went upstairs, so hopefully she will.
It is past her bedtime.
Yeah.
Put the kid down for a nap. She'd be so upset.
The kid is in bed.
I've kind of been on the trend recently of keeping away the topics for the episode away from you guys.
Yeah, I actually really enjoy that. I like keeping that a secret from us, so then I'm surprised and you can have my real reaction. I think that's really cool, actually.
See, I like the really raw reaction, but I think Connor gets really anxious a little bit. So, I don't know. I don't know if he likes it, but good to know you do. I'll really never tell you.
Yeah, don't tell me beforehand. I feel like it just spoils it, but that's just me.
Because I feel like when you don't know, it's kind of easier to be like, oh, and then like, you get excited about it instead of knowing, like, all right, so we're talking about yada, yada, yada.
Yes.
I think it works for us.
Yeah, it's been working so far, so I am really interested in hearing what you have.
Well, if you can't tell already, we have Paige on again today. She wasn't too frightened from the last episode we did, so it's a good thing that we have her back. I don't know what I'd do without my second co-host. But are you ready for the topic?
I am so very ready.
We're going to talk about reincarnation.
Yes.
You like reincarnation?
Yes. That is like my whole theory of like death and what happens. Like some people think heaven and hell. I think reincarnation. I solely believe in that. Like that's like a favorite subject of mine. I really yes.
How have we never gotten on this topic?
I don't know, but I really like that topic of I fully believe that is a possibility. Like there's so much story, so much proof of it. It's just it's mainly in kids, but I believe in the kids. Like kids tend to believe in things so easily, but like kids know truth. Like they believe in truth. Like you can tell a kid anything and they'll believe it really, but I don't think kids are really capable of lying, at least 90% of them. There are, of course, those
you got
different ones. Yes, but I feel like especially when it's usually kids who are under the age of 4, I feel like they just you have to believe them because
there's no way they can make it up otherwise.
Yeah, and it just sounds crazy enough that like you have to believe it because what is a 3-year-old gonna tell you about that isn't true?
Well, yeah, the 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds are like, oh, I died in this plane and this was the make and model.
Yes.
This would happen, and they're right.
And they're
no other
so
way.
Specific that you have to believe them.
Yeah, it's like, what else do you do?
Yeah.
I didn't know that this was such, like,
no, I'm fascinated with reincarnation.
Good. Well,
so I love, yes, I love this topic. So I'm ready to hear what these stories have to say.
I feel like you're going to get on your soapbox a little bit of like, oh my God.
Oh gosh. I'm so excited. Yes.
We'll have to do a few of these. There's stories everywhere. So this is one that we can kind of track down a little bit more in later episodes too.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure to save those for you.
Reincarnation part 2. Love to hear it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, are you ready for our first story?
I am so very ready.
Okay. So our first story is titled, This Girl Tracked Down Her Supposed Past Life Family. Did she prove that she was their deceased daughter reborn?
Oh.
The following is a true case study that was investigated by the University of Virginia School of Medicine's Division and Perceptual Studies.
Okay.
One cool morning, a 5-year-old girl named Ampen, living in Thailand, began weeping. Her mother rushed to her side, bewildered. I want to go home, Ampen begged. The girl had never left her community before, and her mother had no idea what other home her daughter could be referring to. Ampen began to describe a place she insisted she lived before, in a remote Uham village. I think that's how you pronounce it. Strange memories came rushing back to Ampen. She claimed to have once lived as a girl named Sambong, who died tragically from dengue fever. We're going to go with it. Medical staff from the district hospital had loaded her body into a van and driven away, she said. Ampen remembered chasing after the van for miles, desperate to catch it and she could slip back into her body. But the vehicle raced away, leaving her exhausted and thirsty. Ampen recalls stomping in front of a house where a pregnant woman was sweeping the front steps. She claimed that she stretched out beside the house to rest, fell asleep, and then awoke as the pregnant woman's baby. Ampen's mother shrugged off the story and mostly forgot about it. Until 3 years later, when Ampen turned 8, the family traveled to the village for a festival. Now, back in her supposed former village, Ampen's inexplicable memories flooded her mind once again. She expertly navigated the streets, led her family to a modest home, knocked on the door. Ampen threw her arms around the woman who answered, calling her mommy through streaming tears. The shocked woman confirmed that she had indeed named her daughter Sangmong, who died of the fever. Can I have her amulet? Ampen asked, referring to Sangmong's treasure pendant. The mother reported with much sadness that it was lost, even though her daughter had always worn it on a chain around her neck. She suspected someone at the hospital had stolen it. No, when I got sick, I hid it to keep it safe, Ampen explained, just before she disappeared into the house, returning moments later with the recovered amulet resting in her palm.
That's weird. Like how did this like child know that they were going to reincarnate and then find an amulet later?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, weird story.
I feel like 7 is really old for the stories that you usually hear.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the prime age for past life stories is like, okay, like 3, 4, 5 at the most. Like, I don't hear much past 5.
Yeah.
Have you?
No, like it's usually 3, 4 years old. It's never that old. Like 7, I feel like is old.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No, this.
But the fact that that poor mother confirmed it, she's like, yeah, I did have a daughter with this name and yada 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 and the amulet. That's so sad.
Yeah.
That's so sad. I can't imagine running down the street chasing my body, like, and be like, oh, I'm just gonna survive, I'm gonna survive. I feel like that's almost traumatic. I wonder if you can develop any form of PTSD.
Probably. I feel like that for sure, like, is a must. Like, I don't know how to.
I feel like you're living through your death, wouldn't you be? Like you're reliving your death or the afterlife?
Yeah, and that is for sure traumatic.
I just wonder how that affects kids when they're older, like if they remember it. I wonder if there's any sort of psychological studies on that.
Yeah, and for sure, there definitely had like maybe depression or anxiety, something like that. Maybe some people who have depression or anxiety, they had a really bad life in the past life, or um, went through a traumatic experience in the past life, and they just don't know it. Like you might just not know it, and it's maybe that's how those things come about is something happened to you and now you have anxiety or maybe like something that I've heard was phobias are a big reason, like a big reason because of phobias are I guess past lives. Like if you die from falling off of a building, now you reincarnate and you have a phobia of heights.
That would make a lot of sense, though.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there's some really common ones that everyone thinks of, like the spiders. Oh, the spiders be, but like heights make sense, or
Mm-hmm.
a fear of like drowning. Like that's a common one that I feel like I can see a lot of people with.
Yeah,
But even then,
for
you'll
sure.
see people with birthmarks, and then they'll tell you like, oh yeah, that's where like I got hit in the head.
Yeah.
Later on in my old life and whatever.
Yeah, and I have a birthmark. It's a little birthmark right on my left leg, on my thigh, pretty close to my hip. And you've seen that before. So I don't know how the heck, like, that plays into a possible past life that I have.
Maybe you got stabbed.
That's what I was thinking, because like it's kind of a squiggle. Like I don't know. It's just
like a little like rusty knife, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's just like a tiny little squiggle. It's not like it's about like 3 inches big,
or like
and
a blood clot.
I don't.
A blood clot in your leg would it kill you? Would it?
I don't know, but I have no idea what that could possibly be. Of course, I think birthmarks in itself should just be an episode, because there's many different theories. Like some people think it's like an angel's kiss or something like that. Like yeah,
but some people got them on their butts though. I don't know, an angel's kiss.
Maybe
the angels, man.
I don't know. The angel's kiss, maybe that's just a more lighthearted part. But I like the idea of that's how you died in a past life, as a birthmark. Some people have it. I knew I graduated with this guy who had it in his hair. It wasn't like on his head, like his skin, but it was his hair.
Hair birthmarks are super
That's so cool. Like he was obviously shot in the head. I hate to say it, but that would most likely be it. But yeah, I don't know. Some birthmarks are weird, like on a butt. How'd you die with a butt? Butt sex? I don't know. Like, what happened? What had to happen there where you died and then like you reborn and there's a birthmark on your butt? I don't know. That's just maybe there's different reasons for birthmarks.
Here's my personal opinion. I don't know if it's necessarily like this is how you died, but I think it for sure correlates with something in a past life. For sure. Because, like, I don't know, there can be, you can play the whole scientific thing, like, oh, it's just a discoloration in this skin, yada, yada.
Maybe a tattoo. Maybe in a past life you had that tattoo in that area.
Like something meaningful, like on your leg. Maybe you did have a tattoo there. Or maybe, like, there was something significant that happened there. But I don't know. I think they'd have to correlate in some way. I don't think they can just be nothing. And I feel like there's gonna be a lot of people that are like, oh, like scientifically, like it's really easy for it to just be this or this, and like I don't know.
I don't know. Like, how did I get my birthmark? Like, it's a birthmark for a reason. You're born with it. So how does like genetically? It doesn't really make sense. How does like one section of your skin or hair just a different color? I don't know. I want to look into that more. That'd be really interesting.
Because I haven't dove down that rabbit hole too heavily.
I am for sure not going to sleep tonight because I am going down a rabbit hole about birthmarks. Just because
Google at 2 a.m.
Just because I have a birthmark, I want to know where they come from and why they happen.
See, I don't have one. So like, what about people that don't have one?
Well, maybe you're a new soul. Maybe
that's all the anxiety that I experienced just being in life for the first time. It's like, oh, this sucks, man.
Yeah, maybe people without birthmarks are just new souls.
That's an interesting theory. Or maybe I just died of old age.
Maybe.
Because some people are like, oh, I'm a super old soul. And like, I can honestly say, I don't feel like a super old
maybe
soul.
some souls decide not to carry over the past life. Like maybe they just didn't want to carry something from their past life. Or their death. Maybe it was just so traumatic that they didn't want to like be reminded of that. So maybe they just decided, hey, I don't want a birthmark. Something like that. I don't know.
Maybe. I wonder if you get to pick what you look like in the next life, or if there's something that correlates from your past life.
Reincarnation. I get a lot of TikToks about reincarnation, and one of the TikToks said that you do actually get to pick. So you might not have been from this planet or even this universe.
I never thought about that.
Like, think about this. Like, there's more people on the earth right now than there was 100 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
How could the same souls be reincarnated if more and more of us are existing?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to come from another place.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
That never occurred to me.
Or pets. Pets get reincarnated too. Have you seen that? The movie, a dog, like it's about a dog.
A Dog's Purpose?
Yes, and the dog keeps getting reincarnated. Yeah, I told you I like this subject. I have gotten a lot of information about it. So, yeah, I could be an alien.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well, should we move on to our next?
Yes.
Okay. Pulling up our next story here. So the second one is, did investigators prove that this 5-year-old boy was remembering a past life as a soldier in the Vietnam War?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there's a lot of them with like wars and like Marines,
like
the Air Force.
100%. I feel like that's just.
I think it's the trauma.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways. The following is a true case that was investigated by the University of Virginia School of Medicine's Division of Perpetual Studies. Grant, a 5-year-old Midwestern boy, surprised his mother with an unusual question. Did she remember when he was in the war? Grant went on to describe his experience serving in the army, on a beach and in the jungle, and he was even able to recall the exact year, 1969. It sounded a lot like Vietnam, not exactly a typical topic for a kindergartner in the 1990s. Was Grant simply an imaginative child? Or was he remembering a past life? How could his parents verify their son's bizarre claims? A possible answer emerged when Grant began to recall more details about when he suddenly lived before. He believed that he attended the Central High School before heading off to war, where an explosion had killed him at age 21. He claimed his last name was Slavin. Slavin? Grant's mother now had something specific to work with, and armed with an uncommon name like that, she hoped she could make an identification. She scoured the Vietnam Memorial database and found a 21-year-old named Slavin, who had indeed died during the war. Still skeptical of her son's fantasy story, she devised a test. She printed out various photos of young men from the website and prepared a lineup. Grant immediately pointed to his photo and said, "Oh, that's me." Soon, past life investigators took up the case and began researching his life. Just as Grant had stated, Slavin had attended the Central High School. When shown images of Slavin's high school alongside a different Central High School, Grant pointed to the correct one. Investigators repeated this test with more pairs of images that included his childhood home, his parents, his teachers, and his classmates. Grant scored 6 out of 6, correctly selecting the image in each pair that corresponded with Slavin's life. Past life researchers often focus their studies on children like Grant. For some reason, children are more likely to recall specific details of living before. The memories fade as they age, however, and they often stop talking about their past lives altogether around age 6. Children also have far less exposure to historical information that could subconsciously influence their statements. How much did 5-year-old Grant know about the Vietnam War? Possibly some, but certainly not as much as someone older, who had likely studied the event in school or seen movies about it. Another young child who claimed to have served as a pilot in World War II could even describe details about the planes from that area. Researchers believe that young children exhibiting such highly specialized knowledge could be evidence of retained memories of past lives.
Okay, that is so weird. Because how old are you in kindergarten? Like 4?
Kindergarten's 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the Vietnam War until I was like 11th, 12th grade. Because that was later in history. Like that's more recent history, not like Civil War kind of stuff. That's like 60s?
Civil War?
No, when was the Vietnam War?
Well, 1969, they said
Yeah.
he died, so around
So late 1960s. So that's not something we ever get to in school because we always stop at like World War II.
Yeah.
That's when we always stop. So how does a kindergartner know about the Vietnam War? Heck, how does a kindergartner know like about any like historical topic? They shouldn't. They're learning how to spell yellow. Like that's a specific memory I have in kindergarten, like is learning how to spell yellow. But yeah, that's just insane to me how this kid knew about that and how very specific details like, oh, I died when I was 21 years old. How do you know that?
Yeah, no 5-year-old is going to pull that information out of their ass.
No,
There's
no
way. I couldn't do that as a 23-year-old.
No, that's why, like, you have. I mean, I don't know. I can't just say a random name and just make a guess. Like, Patty Johnson died at the age of 23 because of this, and I was Patty Johnson. No. But, like, then you can look it up and, like, oh, sure enough, Patty Johnson from such and such area died at 23. That is so weird. That's how you have to believe them because that's just not random. You can't just make that up and just know it. Especially when you're 5 years old. You can't, that's not possible to do as a 5-year-old. I don't know. 5-year-olds with technology might just be different these days. They might just be able to just look everything up. But
Vietnam War, you should be on
no,
what is it? Coco Melon.
Yeah,
Barney.
like
there's no way they would get to war. Like especially the Vietnam War.
Play Minecraft. I don't know. Like stop with the Vietnam War, specifically the Vietnam War. I didn't know about the Vietnam War at 5 years old.
I was gonna say I don't remember ever going to the Vietnam War at school.
We did because we had a modern history class, but that came after you graduated. But yeah, we didn't even. It was modern history, but we didn't get past the Vietnam War. We started at World War II, and then I think we got to like the 80s. But that was the farthest we got was the 80s. But off topic, anyways. No, that's just not. That shouldn't be possible.
I'm fully trying to process this. I think it's crazy. And he got all of the 6 questions right. Like, who his teachers were. Man, I don't remember all my teachers from school.
I don't remember all of them.
Or classmates.
I see one out in when I take one of the clients to work to church. I think either preschool or kindergarten teacher. I don't remember her name. I see her all the time. She goes, "Hi, Paige. Like, how's it going?" And I'm like, "Hi. I don't remember you, but yeah. Like, how does a kid? How do you remember?"
Are those footsteps? I feel like I keep hearing footsteps.
I think you're hearing things. So I heard them when Callie was walking upstairs, but that was Callie.
But she's outside right now.
Yeah, but like when she was upstairs, and I could hear it, and it did sound kind of heavy for Callie, but I just assumed it was Callie. And I know we did put her outside, but let's just stay silent for a second. Sorry for the listeners, but
I just could have sworn.
No, I think you're just crazy because I didn't hear anything. I think you're psyching yourself out because it
might be.
It is like what 11:30, 11:12. Yeah, it is later, and also Connor's not here, so you're probably feeling just weird.
You're gonna hear me knocking on your door tonight at like 2 a.m.
Don't do it. Don't do it. You know what, Shayley? I will tell you. You remember when no, this is gonna ease your mind, I think. Remember when I went to take the photos with my friends at the cemetery, just our annual ghost photos for Halloween. I was psyching myself out, and I kept thinking I was hearing stuff because it's at a cemetery and it was like 10 o'clock at night. So I thought kept on hearing footsteps, like things that weren't like, because my friends were behind me, and I kept thinking I was hearing footsteps in front of me, and they're like, "No, Paige, you're just crazy." So I think that's just what's happening is you're psyching yourself out.
I really hope, like, genuinely in my heart, like, I hope that's what's.
I promise you, I don't hear anything, so it is you.
I just heard a squeak again. This episode is going to be the end
also, we live in an old house, and it's just it is just creaking. It's doing old house things. I think you're psyching yourself out.
Yeah, I probably am.
All right.
Back to our topic at hand. But that's really all I have for today. I just have a couple of stories.
Well, that was a shorter one.
If I have more stories for another episode, I need to save some and go over, just because I feel like we can do a really long one, and I want to be able to dedicate the time to go over this topic properly.
I feel like we had a lot to talk about, so I'm feeling pretty good about this episode.
I like this. This is a topic that I just think is so interesting. And the thing about this topic is there's no one right answer. I think everyone has their own ideas and thoughts behind how this happens and the way we got here. Mm-hmm. So hearing everyone's different ideas and opinions is super cool. Just like, I want to know your theories. Like, tell me all the theories around. Yes. Tell me all the theories around how you get these random memories or dreams of past. Yes. I that too.
Deja vu. Deja vu.
That could be a whole nother.
Oh my gosh. No. So I just, the topic of deja vu.
You get it all the time.
Yes. I remember telling you this. Like, I tell everybody, like, I get deja vu all the time. And part of me thinks that deja vu is reincarnation. Part of me thinks that psychic abilities. I feel like I have some form of psychic abilities, just like slightly there, not really. Like, I get senses and I get hunches all the time. And also the deja vu kind of thing, like where I will like dream something and it's very vivid, it feels very real to me, and then it'll happen. I'm like, wait a second. Where did this happen before? And then I think about it and it was a dream. So that dreams are another topic, but
dreams are a day. That's another episode.
I think you just need to.
And I want, for those episodes, I want to have you and me write up our dreams. I don't want to say who's who personally, because like I know my dreams are sometimes really sensitive and they bring up a lot of emotion, because a lot of times if I'm talking about something paranormal or spiritual, that's really, really intense, and I can feel that because like I'm a little bit more spiritually sensitive too. Like I get super emotional, and that just is draining sometimes, because you can tell when I have really heavy dreams because I'm drained, and like the most, I describe it as sticky, my really, really sticky dreams. I feel like I have to take 3 showers just to get them off, because they're so vivid and they just feel so real.
Dreams can be really real.
I think they can be past lives.
Yeah, and I feel like you should just have an episode where I just talk about me.
Go for it.
Because I feel so connected to spirituality. And there's just a lot of things about me that I'm like, this is really weird. Like, why do I feel this and then it happens? Why do I think this and then it happens? But also how often I get deja vu is just crazy nuts to me. But also, I want to talk about the Titanic because I am obsessed with. I don't know for
You're one of the Titanic kids.
For some reason, I'm obsessed with the Titanic. I don't know why, but like it's just. And when Mom went to the Missouri and visited the Titanic Museum, I was like, "Oh my gosh, Mom! Like, please get me something." And then she ended up giving me some shirt from Under Armour. I'm just like, Mom. But no, I'm obsessed with the Titanic, and I want to dive into why I'm obsessed with the Titanic. I have a off-brand Lego Titanic set. I haven't built it yet, but I think Titanic would be a great episode because there's just scary. I feel because I am very connected to the Titanic. I feel a lot of spirituality with the Titanic. That's scary. So yeah, you wouldn't think it, but the Titanic's scary. Like it's scary. For some reason, the ending scene where Rose dies and then she comes back to like Titanic heaven and meets Jack again, that's a weird scene to me. That scene kind of freaks me out a little bit because it's very like I know it's supposed to be a happy scene, but like for some reason it's just like it scares me a little bit. Like I'm actually getting jittery. I'm just like it scares me because she's like a ghost and she's wandering around the Titanic. Maybe she's like something that I think is she's in the ocean floor. Like she's a ghost on the ocean floor.
Ew.
That's why I think it's ewy, but also Jack's body is just like possessed or something by Jack, and like I don't know. I would love an episode about the Titanic because that would that intrigues me. Like it gives me the ick, but also it's intriguing.
So we're gonna have to do a Titanic. I feel like you could start your own podcast with your different topics of like things you're obsessed with.
Yes, I've been wanting to do a YouTube channel. I want like a gaming channel for the games, but I also want like just a YouTube channel just talking about all of my experiences, my life in general, and how I'm connected to the paranormal in a way.
Like a virtual autobiography type of deal.
Something like that. I don't know. Maybe just my own podcast.
Just let me talk to random people for 30 minutes.
I just want to rant about the Titanic, okay?
Let me just... So when they're like, oh, what's this thing that you could talk about for 10 minutes straight without prep? Yes. Like, yours is the Titanic.
Mine's the Titanic. I can talk, like, there's a movie about it. There's museums galore. There's haunted shit about the Titanic. Like, I think the Ghost Adventures went to Titanic Museum or something.
I don't remember.
It was some show. I feel like it was the Ghost Adventures. Maybe not. Maybe. Oh no! You know what? It was Paranormal on Camera. The investigation team went to a Titanic museum, and it was a well-known haunted Titanic museum, and just a lot of oh my gosh, it makes me cry thinking about this because like there was like shadow people walking around. Like it has just a lot of the real life stuff, like stuff that was on the ship. It has a lot of like paintings and like just different things that were on the ship that people really owned, people had with them. Suddenly I'm really cold. I don't know. I think I'm shivering, but yeah, so like the Titanic in itself is a great topic, has a lot of interesting things. Like the movie is interesting to me. The ship that is currently on the floor and like the history of it, how the people who survived, their stories. Obviously, all of them are dead now, but that's a great topic. I would love to just talk about it.
We'll have to go over it one day.
Yeah.
One day, do a deep dive into the Titanic and find some stories and go
Yeah,
over
there's a lot in there. Like, definitely a lot of things that you probably don't know about. Like, just
probably. That'll be a
search
pure
up,
education.
search up like scary things about the Titanic, and that would be an episode in itself.
Okay. I'll do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that was a lovely podcast, a lovely episode this
Do you
time
feel
around.
like you can step off the soapbox and just like relax now and peace rest for the night?
Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I have been having sleeping issues lately, but hopefully tonight I can sleep.
I'll figure it out. I got some melatonin for you.
Yeah. I've got meds too.
Well, thanks for coming on again.
Yes, of course. It was fun.
This was a fun one and a little creepy.
Yes, yeah.
All right.
My favorite subject so far. I can't wait to deep dive into other things.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Okay. Gotta get weenie butt. Yeah. That was a long one. That was like 30-some minutes. Yeah,
I want to see how long my thing's been recording. That was 30